We just hit 500,000 followers on Instagram, and now we're actually beyond 549,000 as of filming this. And it's funny because we just hit 400,000 like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I don't know, but it's wild. So today I'm doing a 500k Q&A, and I'm answering questions such as: did I study photography in college / took any courses, or are you self-taught? How to grow a social media presence? How have I grown so fast? And how much time do you spend watching magnificent view before taking any pictures of it? How do I shoot both the night sky and a person in a foreground effectively? And how can I train my photographic view in landscape photography? And many other questions. If you want to use the timestamps below, you can skip around and see questions you want to find answers to. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Hugo, and I help outdoor photographers go from button clickers into storytelling photographers. So, welcome, glad to have you here. And if you, either new person or someone who has been here for a while, and you haven't checked out Focus Notes, my newsletter, make sure to check it out and join us from the link below in the description. I share photography insights, exclusive insights over there to over 7,000 photographers. So join it there, and let's dive in. So the first question: what got me into photography, and when did I start? So I got into photography because I wanted to capture moments in time. I found it so cool that you can see a moment, capture it, and then have it for yourself forever. And just like watch back at these memories and these moments you have witnessed yourself. And yeah, I found it so fascinating. And when I got this inspiration when I saw my cousin taking some photos, and yeah, I don't know would I ever be here if then I hadn't seen my cousin photographing herself. So yeah, that's how I got into it. And I got into it now over 8 years ago already, which is crazy. I started when I was 14. And yeah, one of the questions was how old I am. I'm 22. Then next up, when is it the best time to start sharing photos online? And this was a very interesting question. So there isn't the best time. You can either do it from the beginning, immediately, or you can wait until you gain more confidence in your photography, like you want. For me, I started my Instagram on day one, and yeah, I always wanted to share the photos. I didn't just want to capture the moment for me, but I personally wanted to share it with the world, showcase the world through my lens, and I found that very cool. You don't need to post on social media at all if you don't feel like it. I just happened to start from day one, so yeah, you can absolutely start it anytime you wish. What's one piece of advice for aspiring photographers? I would say that learn from those ahead of you. Learn from those ahead of you. There are, of course, many other things I could say, like, yeah, go shoot a lot and so on. But the thing is that what many photography teachers don't talk about is that if you just shoot a lot, that alone won't get you like very, very far. Because shooting alone just reinforces like bad habits. It doesn't mean like you train your eye. It doesn't mean now you understand how to compose everything. It doesn't mean that now you will start to see the best photo opportunities on field. That doesn't happen automatically just by shooting a lot. So you need to, yes, shoot, but you need to learn from those ahead of you. So then you can, understand where you are going in the wrong and what to adjust. So if I could give one advice, it would be to learn from those ahead of you. I have also done the same. So like from day one, I started learning from others. I started from YouTube, and then I moved to the paid material then later on. And like if you are have invested in a camera, or you are about to invest in a camera, I would recommend to invest into your skill too. Don't just get the camera and think it's gonna be it, because that's not it. But yeah, also one of the questions I had on the list was, how have I learned photography? So indeed, I haven't went to college, or I haven't learned about photography at school. I always found it. I didn't ever want to learn from a professor at school when it comes to photography. Like, how often do you look up to? Like, no offense to professors, but like, how often do you look up to a professor who's a photographer, and you're like, oh my god, like you're my idol, and I look up to you, and like I so much want to learn from you. I would bet you don't often think that highly of the professor. I want to learn from those who are actually incredible at their craft. And professors, they might know the theory, but are they actually amazing photographers themselves? So that's why I have just learned from those who are ahead of me, like actually people I look up to. And that has really made the progress not just fun, but faster as well. And if I would be doing this at school, I think I'd be just, could be bored out of my mind, because for me personally, school can make things much more boring. so yeah, no, I haven't went to school. And at some point I was considering going to a photography school before I went to high school, but then I was also thinking about, like, now I have already learned many of the skills that they would teach me at the school, so what's the point to going to school? So I didn't. And you don't need to go there either. And especially if you're anything like me, like you want to keep photography as the most fun thing possible, and you want to learn the most effectively, and learn from those ahead of you and who you look up to, then learning from other people online is the best way. Then, next up, how do you manage your daily lifestyle/routine? Right now, I'm on my Northern Light schedule, which means that, first of all, I am going to sleep very late and waking up very late. And this is because I'm very conscious of how much, like, bad stuff even one night of bad sleep does to your brain and body. So I really aim to minimize these kind of nights, because I want to live for a very long time. So that's why, yeah, like I go sleep 2-3 a.m. and I wake up at 10:30, 11, or whenever. I don't set the alarms. And overall, my lifestyle and routine, like about managing it, honestly, right now it's not as good as I would wish, and that's because I'm adjusting. Not to this Northern Light schedule anymore, like that's already solid, but to this new reality of mine. And the new reality is that there's over 500,000 of people, watching me, and that means people see me differently, and media sees me differently, and I'm just adjusting into this new identity that I am someone who has 500,000 followers, and like there's a lot that comes to this. So I'm learning a lot, like also about media and all kind of things. So right now it's not as strict like a daily routine as I would wish. Like, okay, this time gym, this time eating, and this time client calls and so on. But yeah, it's gonna get there. Always when there's a big transformation like this, like I've gained 250,000 followers in 1 month. So yeah, I mean, it's a big step up I need to do for myself, step into the next better version of me, so that I can handle also the pressure of 500,000 of people, which is, yeah, like over like 5 Wembleys, which is wild. Then, what was your first camera? So my first camera, which my parents got me, and I didn't understand as much about cameras, of course, as I do right now. And if I were starting right now, I would have not got this camera and not this lens. So this isn't a recommendation. But I got a Sony A6500 and a 16 to 70 millimeter when I started. Before that, I did like kind of test out a little bit with my parents' camera, and then I noticed like, hey, like, you know, I like this photography stuff, and when I go into something, I don't want to like half-ass things. I want to really commit and do it well. So I knew that, well, if I'm gonna do this photography stuff, like I want a good camera and I want the lens, and so on. Later, I realized that the camera body isn't the most important thing. What I should have done is got like a decent camera body for my needs, and then either a lens that's versatile, well, a 60 to 70 is kind of that, or then multiple different lenses, and then mainly invest into learning the skills, because that's what really makes the biggest difference. Great photographers, storytelling photographers can make amazing photos also with worse gear. So yeah, I started with the Sony A6500, but it's not what I would recommend you to start with. Alright, next up, so how to grow a social media presence and how have you grown so fast? So let me answer first, how have I grown so fast? So yes, the last 30 days has been insane. So yeah, 250,000 followers. Yeah, within 30 days, which is something I didn't see coming. Like for sure, like didn't see that. But the other 250,000, that took me longer. It took me over 8 years to get to that point. Now that said, I did not post consistently for over 8 years. Like that's not how it actually was. In the first 5 years when I wasn't very consistent, I got to maybe like 3,000 followers. Then I had, or was that 6 years? 5 or 6. And then I had a small period of consistency where I was consistent for like a month. And then I went from 3,000 to like 18,000 followers. I had like one or two reels go viral. And then I stopped being consistent, and because, well, I lacked ideas, to be fair. So I stopped being consistent, and then, yeah, I had like a year or so break, or 2 years, I don't know. But then I picked things up again, and I started posting daily. For 1.5 years, I posted daily without missing a single day. You can check. I have not missed a single day of posting. Like in the 1.5 years. And then from last February, I have posted at least 4 times a week. And I made that switch because 1, I was already at over 100k followers, and 2, I did testing with my data, and I saw that me posting more didn't necessarily result in more views, and it didn't result in more business. So when I posted less, I got more views and I made more money. So then it was like, okay, well, it doesn't make sense to then post as much, so I should put my time elsewhere. But yeah, how can you grow? So there's a few things. First is that you of course need to be, or the better you are at your craft, the easier it is gonna be to grow. You can of course document your learning process, which can be very cool, and that can get you already like lots of followers. But if you don't want to document your learning journey, then your work needs to be great in order for it to get amazing reach. If you, for example, take inspiration from my posts, they aren't gonna work for you if your work isn't amazing. Like the post needs to be great for, like my hooks and so on to work for you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to learn social media. So it's not enough to understand. I'm like a master photography, because there are a lot of great photographers out there, but many photographers don't understand how social media works. So you need to learn, how does the social media work? And right now Instagram is so different to like 2017 and 2018, and most people still think, oh, hashtags matter, and yeah, they don't just understand how the platform works. So you need to understand how the platform works you are trying to grow on. Very important. And then thirdly it's the freaking consistency. Like if you post 3 times a week, like I would never recommend that. I believe you must at least 5 times a week, but I would highly recommend 7 times a week. And you might be like, oh, Hugo, how is it possible? So, well, it's not necessarily possible if you just post photos, and if you don't take like lots of photos. So then you need to get a bit more creative, and that's just is the game. It's up to you. Do you want to play the Instagram game and maybe make those other posts? Like I make posts on photography, like I repost them old photos, I post new photos, I share behind the scenes of my life as a photographer, and these kind of things. And that helps me post much more easily. So that's just, you just need to decide what game are you trying to play. So, and yeah, so those would be the main things. And if you really think about it, if you post daily for, it could be 1.5 years or 2 years, and you keep improving on your posts, and you have perhaps also learned social media from people ahead of you, so you understand like how to make posts and so on that actually work out, then it's like, how would you not succeed? Like if you post every single day for 2 years, which then is like, I don't know, like 700 posts nearly, then it's like, of course it's like you would succeed, like pretty likely, or at least make some amazing progress. But the thing is, most people aren't willing to put in the work, so then they don't succeed. If you just did, posting a lot and improving a lot, you would become pretty good. But most aren't willing to do it, and that's why most don't succeed. All right, then my favorite lenses. So I love using my 100 to 400 the most. That is so good lens. That's not my most used lens, but it is the one I love the most. Now, I don't recommend for you to get it. I probably would not, maybe. I don't know, would I have bought it myself? I just got it from Sony, which was a 6 price. So yeah, so I just got it that way. But yeah, it's the most fun lens to use, but I don't just use it like that often compared to 16 to 35 and 24 to 105 and the 50mm I have. But yeah, those are all the lenses I have. It's not like I have like 20 different lenses, because you don't need 20 lenses. You could be completely fine with just one if you notice what focal length you need. Or then maybe get a few lenses, but you don't need like 10 lenses. That's pointless. And indeed, if you are a button clicker and you don't feel you have yet the art side of photography, nailed. So you maybe understand what's ISO, you understand what shutter speed and aperture, and maybe some basics on editing. But you just feel something is missing, and you aren't proud and confident in your work, and you want to become a storytelling photographer whose work really moves people and tells stories instead of just look technically okay. So if you are one of these people and you want this transformation, then DM me ready on Instagram to apply to work with me, or then if you don't have Instagram, then just click the other link in the description to apply to work with me. And the tuitions to my mentorship is far from cheap. So if you're broke, this unfortunately isn't for you. And if you aren't serious about this, this also isn't for you, because I only work with those who are serious about becoming better at their photography. So anyway, if you want to apply, apply. Nikon, Sony or Canon? So yeah, with Sony. But I just went with Sony from the beginning. So if you are with Canon or Nikon or Fujifilm or Olympus or whatever, like, you are fine. Like, you don't need to switch to like what I'm shooting on and so on. I love Sony, but like, you are completely fine with other brands as well. When is my birthday? So my birthday is in the month of amazing auroral activity, which is March. So March born, and yeah, I don't know, is there really anything else to say about that? Do you have a pet? And how many cameras did you use in total since you started photography? I personally don't have a pet. That's because mainly I'm moving around all the time, and I don't think a pet right now really would fit to my lifestyle. And I don't think I could take good care of it, so I don't want to get one now. But my family does have a dog. But yeah. And how many cameras have I used since the beginning? So I did mention the Sony a6500 as the first one. And now I have my second one, which is Sony a7 III. And on this camera, I have been shooting for over 7 years now. And yeah, not all the buttons work super well. And yeah, I have also like thrown it to repair once before. But yeah, it's fine. Like, this is all I need. Don't buy new gear for the sake of buying new gear. Only buy new gear if you feel your gear is limiting you. Otherwise, it's just a waste of money. Then, are you real happy? So, yeah, this is a question that a few years ago I would have not honestly answered. I thought a few years ago that if one just says, or like talks about how happy they are and how proud of they are, that they would be like just like full of themselves and like it's a bad thing. But now I kind of see that differently, because you need to have self-love, and self-love is important. It's important you love yourself as a person. Like, that's very, very important. So yes, and like also I feel it's very important to be honest. Being honest about your feelings, about who you are, how you're feeling. So yes, I am very happy right now. That said, I'm not 24/7, like always, like like life is amazing and stoked. I aim for that, but it's not like 24/7. So I have moments where I get setbacks. I might be frustrated. I might be saddened. And right now, especially, I do experience a lot of anxiety. That doesn't necessarily stop me from being happy, but yeah, it's like my life isn't like very free, like with this follower amounts, that's like definitely has caused me anxiety, but this is something I get used to. But a 250,000 jump in a month is something that just takes getting used to. All right. Then, how much time you spend watching magnificent view before taking any pictures of it? So, this depends. Sometimes I arrive at the location very early on. Sometimes I arrive last minute. Sometimes the scene I'm shooting is static and there isn't, anything moving around, and I can take forever before I take the photo. But sometimes I don't have forever and I see something like, okay, like there's a horse, I need to photograph it right now, it's perfectly positioned, then I just take the photo right there. And I'm not now saying you need to do it this way, definitely not, but my own mission and priority is to spread positivity through my photos online to as many people as humanly possible. The second priority when shooting is that I enjoy the view myself. So if I have to choose between me seeing the moment and me photographing the moment, I will always go with that I capture the moment. But often it's not like I need to sacrifice it, because I will still see the moment, whether it's through the viewfinder or then I put the camera to take photos automatically and then I go to be the subject in my photos. So I don't actually miss the moment, I just see the moment through the viewfinder or then in a different way. But yeah, it depends from scene to scene. Sometimes the scene doesn't move, sometimes there's crazy on the lights and I need to be fast. Do you have a special person in your life? Now, by this, I don't know, do you mean a special person or like a romantic, partner? If it's not romantic, then yeah, like my family is special and some great friends. But I don't have a romantic partner. No, I don't. And I have very high standards for one. Then when the time comes for that, like when I stumble upon to someone, very high standards, and which I believe that everyone should have when it comes to being with someone, because that's what I have studied. Is that that's the most important decision you will make in your life. How do you shoot both the night sky and the person in the foreground effectively? So it always depends on the scene. You can either take 2 exposures, like one for the sky and then one for the foreground, or then you can just try to shoot it all at once. So there isn't, to be fair, like the most effective way. I think there's just preferences. I always prefer to get a photograph that's a single exposure and it's just me and the night sky. But the reality is that, and what I realized, especially just like on a shoot a couple of nights ago, is that when I'm alone and I don't have a model, then me trying to put myself into the photograph in a single exposure, it just makes me miss so many more photos that I wouldn't miss if I had a model with me. So that's like why sometimes I do just take a photo of the northern lights. Like I focus on like getting those actually into the frame, and then I put myself in the frame after the northern lights has faded, and then it's kind of like it's still like a single exposure. Like I could have got that shot, but now I just first focus on the northern lights and then I just put myself like into the second exposure. And this way, it's kind of like shooting with a model. Like you can take your time, you can frame more easily, and so on. But yeah, there are just preferences. How I do it is whatever I do, and when I want myself into the shot, I just put the camera to take photos automatically through intervalometer, and then it just takes photos like every some second, and then I just do different like poses, and then I have ones to choose from. So yeah, I think it's just the preferences. So you can do single exposure, focus stacking, double exposure, whatever you wish. All right, and then next one, how do you earn money? So right now I earn through helping outdoor photographers go from button clickers into storytelling photographers, without borrowing tutorials and relying on luck for great shots and staying stuck, not knowing what to fix. But it hasn't always been this way. So I used to start with the client shoots. So I used to do client shoots, so for different kind of companies, and that was cool to earn with photos. But then quite soon I realized that it's not the thing what I want to do, because I was doing this shoot. Like when I got this realization, I was in Finnish Lapland doing a shoot for this outdoor company that's pretty big in Finland and maybe in Europe, but at least in Finland. And I realized that now I was thinking, what photos do I want to make for the company? Instead of thinking what I want to shoot. And I realized like, hey, that's that's not how it was supposed to go. Like it was supposed to be that I do this client shoot and then that like allows me to do photography. But now I'm on this shoot and I'm just thinking about the client. And of course, client satisfaction is very, very important. It should be the most important thing when you're doing a shoot. But then I was anymore shooting for myself. And I was like, yeah, it wasn't supposed to be that. I started photography for me. And yeah, after that realization, I think I only did one shoot, one client shoot after that. And that was just and only because I needed a car for 3 weeks and I didn't want to pay for 3-week rental. It was like 800 euros for 3 weeks. I was like, this is ridiculous. I don't want to pay 800 euros. So I contacted the car company. And I was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And made my outreach email. And then I did end up getting the car for free and get paid on top. So then I had a car and I was able to then photograph around. And then also focus on my own photography because now I finally realized somewhat like kind of like how to combine the two. But still, I never started photography to take photos for other companies or people, so I haven't done that since that deal. Then I moved to selling like digital art, and I was pretty successful in that. So yeah, selling my photos online, and I made some 5-figure months. And it wasn't like 5 figures consistently though, like don't get me wrong on that. Like the digital art market, as some of you might know as NFTs, that was very like up and down. And that's also what made me then quit it, even though I had pretty good success in it. I wanted like more stable business, not like one month it's 5 figures and then another one it's not much. So yeah. Then I started building a personal brand online and I started teaching. And now I do that. And teaching allows me to fulfill my mission, which is to help photographers express the important stories to them. And yeah, the world needs more great photographers, so I want to, make them. And it's how we get someone who's not a great photographer yet into a great photographer is that we need to get them from just understanding the technical stuff of a camera into someone who can tell stories with a camera. So that's what I help do. And this allows me to work from anywhere. Like I'm in Norway, and later this month I'm gonna be in another country, and so I can travel around as long as I have Wi-Fi. I'm good. So yeah. And again, if you do want to work with me potentially, and you want to go from a button clicker to a storytelling photographer whose work actually tells stories and the images aren't just technically okay, then DM me ready on Instagram to apply to work with me. Or if you don't have Instagram, then just click the other link in the description, and we'll see. Maybe we can work together. All right. And next up, what's something you've never photographed but really wish to? So I have talked previously about the destination, but I'm not gonna talk of that now. I'm gonna say gorillas. When I was in Japan in January, I really fell in love with photographing like how do I say this? Like monkey species or like monkey-looking creatures, because they are close to humans, so you can really like. I feel you can resonate with monkeys like in a great way because you see their eyes, you see their mouth, and like they have so many like human features, fingers and yeah, like I really connected with monkeys. So now I photograph monkeys in Japan, I've done so also in Indonesia. I don't think I've done it anywhere else. No, I haven't. But like gorillas is something I want to do. Orangutans I did, but of course they don't count as monkeys. But orangutans I did, and then gorillas I would love to do. We'll have to see when. I mean, I could do it. I mean, I'm grateful to have, very humble to have the opportunity to just go and do that if I want, but I have to just see the timing. Next up, can you give me career guidance? Yes and no. No, because I don't know you, so I don't actually know how to advise you, where you are, what do you want. But yes, I can give some overall things. So, how I see is what's important is that you listen to yourself. Like, that's the first thing. Like, don't listen to what the world wants or what people close to you want from you. Listen to yourself. Because honestly, you don't have another choice if you want to be happy. If you listen to anyone close to you and you decide your career based on that, then you might be pleased with your decision for a bit and you're gonna make people around you happy, yeah. But then at some point, you are gonna realize that you made the wrong choice. You're gonna start regretting. And deep down, you know you are doing what you shouldn't know. And now this is the bad part when then you start to build resentment for those people who you try to make happy with your choice. So then that's not fair for them either. So it's not fair if you listen to, like say your parents want you to be X, Y, and Z, and you do that, but you don't want that, then later on you're going to have resentment for your parents, and that's not fair for them or for you. So you need to listen to yourself to make everyone happy in the end. Somebody might be disappointed at first, like your parents or someone else of your choice, but long term, if you do what you do and you do indeed succeed in it, then people are going to be pleased with you. At least those who are supposed to be in your life who aren't like toxic and so on, like they are going to cheer for you. So yeah, and that I can say from experience. I'm definitely doing what my parents didn't want me to do, but now they're on board. And yeah, so I think that's the first thing. Listen to yourself. Don't listen to what anybody else wants. Just listen to yourself. Regarding this, like what you want, go for that. And then take advice from those who you look up to and who know their stuff. So what I have done for myself is very hard rules around taking advice. So I don't take, for example, investing advice from somebody who has never invested before. Doesn't make sense. And there's people who have tried to guide me on investing who haven't invested themselves. So it's like, yeah, they can advise and I appreciate it, but just I'm not gonna take the advice because they don't know it from experience. Then 2 is like, I don't take like dating advice from people who have never dated before. Doesn't make sense. And I don't take business advice from those who have never run a business. Doesn't make sense. And I don't take business advice from those who are doing like less money monthly than me. I just take advice from those who are doing way more than I do. So that's very important. He said, be careful who you take advice from. Very, very important. And many people don't like they skip that, and yeah, then they end up taking bad advice. So be careful. Very important issue. But yeah, honestly, like if you just listen to yourself and go for your dream, and you don't let fear hold you back. Fear kills so many dreams, and what's the beautiful thing about fear, though, is that you can do things even when you're afraid. And I can say I've done so many things when I have been afraid. And as I've said in like earlier in this video, right now I'm actually anxious of like doing like 500. I have 500k followers, and I am sometimes afraid of posting stuff, but I do it anyway. And today I have been aiming to get myself to the news in Finland for, well, different reasons, and a big part of me doesn't want me to do that right now. And honestly, that's because I'm not used to 500,000 people being there, and then when I would get myself to news again, then it's like, it's gonna be even more eyeballs on me, and that's somewhat scary. But I do it because I know it's the right thing to do right now. For my mission too, so that people will benefit through my photos, and I get to help more photographers become proud of their craft and into storytelling photographers. So yeah, those are my advice regarding career. Do you like living in Finland? Things you don't like here. So how I actually see is that I don't live in Finland, but I don't like live anywhere, like, like permanently. I mean, like, my official residence is in Finland, like, that's true. I still do spend time in Finland. That's also true. But I kind of am moving around. So, like, right now I'm in Norway. Then I'm gonna be back in Finland for a bit. Then I'm gonna go somewhere else. And then for Christmas I'll be back home. And then January I'll go somewhere. And then probably in February I'll be back. So yes, there are things that I love about Finland, and then there are things that I don't like about Finland. So what I love about Finland is nature, of course. It's amazing, it's gorgeous, it's amazing. And yeah, the Finnish nature does inspire me. There's many great photos to take, many more great photos I want to take. So that's really awesome. And then also, like, I really love the cleanliness. It's something else. Like, you really appreciate the cleanliness of Finland after being to, like, Bali and stuff. And also that many digital things, like, work very well. It's not like what my fellow Germans say, like, in Germany it's it's an ancient place with paperwork and, and stuff. So Finland isn't like that, which I'm very grateful about. And also the silence I really appreciate. Again, after Bali was amazing, but I really miss the cleanliness and silence, and also tap water, because tap water in Bali you can't drink it, and you need to drink, like, either from plastic bottles, which isn't good for your health because of microplastic, and then glass water is just a lot of money. Or at least to me, because I'm not used to paying like 140 euros a month on water. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Then, but yeah, things what I don't like about Finland. The main thing is the community aspect, and this is for me as an entrepreneur, that Finnish people aren't known as being very, like, entrepreneurialistic. There aren't many entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't like something that's very looked up to, and yeah, it's not very common. So even though I'm sure in Finland there's somewhere some kind of hubs for entrepreneurs, especially in the capital, but I've not had a group of entrepreneurs around me in Finland. I haven't had a community, and I haven't. I've had hard time finding people who do what I do there, and yeah, like, similar people to me. It's been hard to find, but then when I went to Bali, and this is the main reason why I went to Bali, was to surround myself with like-minded people. So like-minded people that who either are photographers or then they are entrepreneurs, and they have a mission to make the world a better place and teach skills forward and so on. And that was really awesome. Like, I was staying at this guest house in Bali. It was funny, like I was there as a coach, but then there was like 3 other coaches, like, in the tiny guest house, which was kind of cool and fun. We could just talk about coach stuff, which I could have never done before. So that's the main thing I miss. And And yeah, of course there are like many things about Finland that I could say like I wish they were better. But then many of them are also in many other countries. But the community part is the main thing that I have missed. So that's why I went to Bali, and I'm gonna go most likely to Bali next year again for this community aspect. Favorite car brand? I'd say I'm in progress of figuring this out. That I've had phases in my life where like I'm more into like learning about car stuff. Like as a kid, I was like much more into cars. Then I had a period where I wasn't into cars at all, and now I'm more interested in cars. I wouldn't say like I'm a car nerd. As long as I have something to go from A to B, like for now at least, I'm fine with that. So yeah, I don't have the most fanciest car, but it's reliable. So I don't want to say a favorite brand. I'd say I'm in progress of that. One day I'm gonna figure that out. Lastly, how can I train my photographic view in landscape photography? So this is where you need to learn from those ahead of you. Because if you just keep doing what you have always been doing, so you take photos, then if you do the same stuff with the same knowledge, you're gonna get the same results. So you need to get some new information to your brain. And not just necessarily information, but like guidance. Like what, not just like, hey, like here's a hack for you. Use this hack. Like, yeah, it might give you some boost to your photos, but like you can't rely on hacks. Like you need to actually have a plan to train your vision to get to where you want the most effectively. The main thing is to learn from others, and not just like blindly just keep shooting and think it's gonna turn out better. If I would have just kept shooting and not learned from other people, like I would definitely not be where I am right now with my photography and my career overall. Learning from others, that's the most important thing. Get new information to your brain, get guidance, and this newness is gonna allow you to see new things, make new kind of photos, and better photos. So I would say that. And for those who I work in my Storylands mentorship, so that where I take button clickers into storytelling photographers, here's where I help you with my Story Eye protocol. So we go through the process so that we can then train your vision in a very fast way. In just 8 weeks, we're gonna completely transform your photographic vision. So if you want for me to go through that Story Eye protocol with you, and help you get to a storytelling photographer, and if you want that, then just DM me ready on Instagram, and we'll see. Maybe I get you in, maybe I can't. We have to see my availability. And if you don't have Instagram, then just go and click the other link in the description, and it's gonna give you guidance on how to apply to work with me. All right, that was it. I'm gonna now head to eat, break my fast, and drink some more coffee, and then prepare for the news interview. But if you did enjoy this video, then you are gonna also love this video that I just posted. And this video is about the 7 things most photographers get wrong. And if you're getting this wrong, then this can definitely be things that hold you back from reaching your full photography potential and from making amazing photos. So don't miss this video. Make sure to watch that next. See you there.